Hey, good weekend to you. Welcome to Leading Edge. I'm Jerry Anderson. Good to have you guys along on this week in which we celebrated President's Day. And we're going to do that in our own way here on Leading Edge, as it gives me great pleasure to introduce and welcome in the 18th president of the University of Toledo, Dr. Gregory Postel. Unbelievably, if I got this right, Mr. President, we're fast closing in on a year since you were named the permanent president, prior to which you served as interim for, I think, about 8 months or so. I want to apologize. We're tardy on getting you on the show, but it's great to have you with us. And as we meet, what a big week you've had, hiring a new athletic director. I'll get you there. But first, when you arrived, to be honest, the University of Toledo Medical Center, the South Toledo Hospital on your health science campus was, for all intents and purposes, on life support, hemorrhaging cash. And now I read where it's turning black ink. And I want to start there. Is the hospital out of distress? Is its future solid? And if so, how'd you do that?
Well, good afternoon, Jerry. I'm very happy to join you on your show today. The UTMC is such a jewel in this community. It's a very important asset for South Toledo, but for Northwest Ohio in general, because of some of the unique services that are offered there and some of the high quality treatments that we provide. And when I arrived, I noticed a lot of similarities between that hospital and one I spent many years working with in Louisville, Kentucky, the University of Louisville Hospital. Similar size, similar problems, not unusual for smaller hospitals to struggle a bit these days. And so we used some techniques very similar to what we did in Louisville, and did some basic block and tackling, looked to see programs that might be available to help such hospitals that perhaps were not being taken advantage of. We have a great management team over there, and we challenged them to work day and night to help us find solutions. And we've done well. And to answer your question, yes, I think the hospital is out of hot water. We're into our second year of profitability. We have been included now in a federal program for hospitals that take care of a high percentage of Medicaid patients, which we do.
That's a $25 million federal stipend. Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur on our show just a few weeks ago. She was here to talk about Ukraine. She feels so very strongly on that, but we got to that point. And you think that could be an ongoing annual reimbursement from the federal government. I do have to ask you, federal rescue plan money is also, though, represented in this black ink. Yes or no? Help me understand.
So in the first year it was, but now in the second year it is not. So dollars related to the pandemic were critically important because of the unusual circumstances that hospitals faced during the pandemic. So yes, that helped contribute to a positive bottom line last year, but those were not recurring monies. And
gotcha.
So now are having to rely on ongoing sources.
I'll move on. You have so many things I want to talk about involving UT. It's a big, wonderful campus, much to talk about. Real quickly, is UTMC still on target to have its trauma center designation upgraded in this year of 2022?
Yes, the state has already done that. It has been elevated from a level 3 to a level 2. Center, and that has been ratified by our Board of Trustees.
Congratulations on that. Let's go to enrollment now. Just over 17,000 students, I believe, called UT home this past fall. That's undergrads and grads studying at UT. Not exactly ancient history when that figure was over 22,000. Now, everybody certainly, Dr. Postel, has felt a pandemic pinch, but your declining numbers preceded COVID and, frankly, in fairness, preceded you. But you're in the seat now. So why is that, and what do you plan to do about it?
Well, so we have taken advantage of, as you have pointed out, what really has been a longer-term trend downward in enrollment, and treated that as an opportunity to modernize our entire approach to the way we enroll students and the way we attract potential students. And so, for instance, instead of focusing all of our energy on Northwest Ohio, we are broadening the lens and recruiting students now from a much broader geographic distribution. Northwest Ohio and Toledo is still our first priority, but it can't be our only priority because of the population here, which has declined over the years. We're also working now to get our international students back, which is starting to bounce back with COVID being in a somewhat better situation. We've had about a 60% bump this year over last in our applications for international students. We're working to bring back adult students who have not graduated, who perhaps would be interested in completing their education, and we're going to be growing online programs. So as you can see, it's not just one technique that's necessary to turn around a long-term trend like this. It takes a variety of different approaches.
Dr. Gregory Postel is the president of the University of Toledo. I think coming up on his first anniversary, being named the permanent number 18 president, I believe, in the long history of U Toledo. I mentioned we all saw you on TV this week. You had asked a new athletic director. You know, published reports, you're aware of them, have suggested that longtime AD Mike O'Brien, a guest on this program a few times, was squeezed out, that an activist trustee, maybe others, wanted a new direction. I'm going to give you a chance to comment on that. Was your support of a new athletic director a prerequisite to you being named the permanent president?
Well, first let me say that the history of UT athletics is a long and exciting history with many developments over the years in terms of the academic and athletic accomplishments of these students, wonderful facilities that have been constructed. This is a tribute not just to the student athletes, but to the coaches and the athletic directors and all those who have led University of Toledo athletics over the years. And so for the last 20 years, our leader has been Mike O'Brien, who's a wonderful person, and he bleeds midnight blue and gold. He's a rocket through and through, and he's done a phenomenal job building and sustaining our program. He still serves on the NCAA men's basketball committee, which in and of itself is a statement about his history as an AD. So we're proud of Mike. He's part of our family, but everything in life changes eventually, and Mike has been with us 20 years now. It's hard to believe, and so we're looking at the next chapter. Who's going to be our leader in athletics for the next 5, 10, 15 years. And we're so pleased that we were able to first find and then second attract someone the caliber of Brian Blair for that role.
He's getting very, very high marks. Okay, I promised you we're going to take a break here. He's Dr. Gregory Postel, president, University of Toledo. I have much more with the president right after this. You're watching Leading Edge.